Hello, and welcome to the Millennial Nutritionist podcast. I'm Isla Garcia, master's degree of nutrition science and registered dietitian, and I'm going to make weight loss realistic, sustainable, and uncomplicated for your busy lifestyle. On this podcast, me and my team of registered dietitians will decipher the latest nutrition research, dissect bad diets, and discuss social media trends for you so you can feel confident knowing what to eat to achieve your health goals. Research suggests that most weight loss programs aren't successful, but my experience has taught me that this is not because the participants aren't committed. It's because those diets are designed by non-nutrition professionals and center around severe restrictions. We are here to provide the facts about the science of weight loss so you can have the success you want and continue living your best life. Hello, and welcome back to the Millennial Nutritionist. My name is Isla, your founder, CEO, and host. And today is going to be a little bit of a life updates, like therapeutic, cathartic podcast episode. I feel like I just wanted to lay some groundwork for what it's going to look like in the future, and even just taking a little moment to reflect on the past. I can't ever remember what I share on here versus all the other platforms. And I feel like on Instagram, I keep everybody pretty well up to speed. And I assume that most of you either have come from Instagram, maybe. And so, or follow me on some other platform where you're keeping up with things. But if you're not, this is it. Or if you are already following me over there, this is just a more extended version of it. So this is going to be a very Isla episode, but also just what you can expect from the Millennial Nutritionist as a company, I think, for the next little bit. So just starting off some announcements. So for Millennial Living, the sauteed shrimp video is posted. I think I'm leaning into a little bit more of basics that I feel like people just need to see. I think in the beginning of doing the membership, I was doing more things that were fun things, but as I talk to more and more clients, I just noticed so many people don't know how to make basic things, and it can really impede them from getting in protein and getting in produce. So I want to keep on making more basics like that. So definitely let me know if you need a how to cook this thing, and I'll keep doing it. The other thing is we are officially done with taking new clients, it's just me, and I'm not taking any more new clients because if I do, then it will back me up into taking, for when the baby comes, because I do a 3-month program. If you are really interested, we could maybe work something out to where I take you until August and I can just discount you the amount of time. I never feel like those end up going very well because I do think the program is 3 months for a reason. We go through 6 different steps, and that's why there are 7 sessions. We go each step, each session. But if you feel like it's something you really need, I definitely want to meet you where you're at. And I've worked it out for somebody else already, so I could work it out for you too, especially if you're a client that was wanting to renew. We can just work out that. So with all that, I have a pretty long script here. So I hope it's not a super long podcast episode because I need to make some dinner after this. But starting all the way from the beginning, I've been on quite a journey through the past couple of years, personally. And I think just as a millennial, this is why I want to start the Millennial Nutritionist, or that's why I focus on millennial stuff, because it's just when I started this, a lot of millennials were still going through the young adulthood phase, or I'm at least on the younger millennial side, being 30. So at that time, and still kind of now, I feel like we're still settling into our lives. So going through all those transitions of either going from undergrad to grad school, to being in a serious relationship, to being engaged, to going through the wedding stuff, to getting married. And, a lot of people go through that progression, or at least that's the progression I went through. And then the changes didn't really stop, because then I got married, and then David got a job that pulled us to Texas, and then we're here. And it just feels continual transitions. And about 1.5 years into that, I couldn't sleep anymore. And that was to the point where I was knew that I've never been diagnosed with anxiety or anything, but whatever I was feeling, it felt like anxiety. I was I need some help. So, I started going through therapy, and I just, it forced me to really look at what I want my life to look like, or what I actually enjoy. And not that I don't think I enjoy things that served me when I was a younger adult, but now is I don't know, in my 30s. I don't know what it is, but I'm just a homebody. I just enjoy doing things really low key. And I think I'm to a place where I feel like I've worked so hard for everything that I want to just sit and enjoy it. it really came to a head actually when I went to Greece last year. And I feel like it's like really hoity-toity to say, but that's a part of it. We went to Greece and Spain and we went on this like really epic trip. We went to a music festival and then we vacationed in Greece and like no expenses were cut at all. And it was just great for me and David to reflect on like how far we've come because we both met when we were in college and had no idea like where our lives and our careers would end up. And so being able to go on this trip where like we basically, I feel like didn't really need to budget anything, like whatever we wanted to do, we just did. And then also we went to Belize, which is another really awesome, but we made it a really expensive trip both times. But especially when I was at Greece, I was thinking like the most joyful part about that trip was just like sitting and relaxing by the pool and reading and like being pampered. And I was like, I really think I could do this for less money than it costs to go on this trip. And honestly, like the stress of traveling, like traveling halfway around the world, I was like, I feel like if I wonder if I could just like build a life that I actually enjoy and don't want to leave, if it would keep me from being so stressed out from working as much and just being stressed out about money all the time. And I can just relax whenever I want to. And so I've honestly, over the past year, been kind of like building a life towards that. That's why when David got his remote job, I advocated so hard to move to some sort of beach town because I'm like, why would you ever need to go on vacation if you already live at the beach, right? So, and that's my life now, which is amazing. And I don't have to travel all the way halfway around it. Like flights are so expensive. Like I just feel like I'm so blessed, but I also want to like have time to enjoy those things. Um, and so I'm realizing now that at least the phase of life that I'm in, the season of life that I'm in, is that I just really want to, you know, celebrate the life that I've built, sit back and kind of relax about it. David works a lot and he enjoys that. That's where he gets his cup filled. And I really enjoy doing more of the domestic stuff. I don't know if it's bad to say, but you know, as a dietitian, I love being healthy. I love helping other people be healthy. And the person who's directly in my life is David. And I enjoy making us healthy meals. And I enjoy every facet of that. Like I even would love to have like a whole garden and be able to just like fully sustain ourselves. Not like we're going to move off the grid, but just go into learning more about like how we get our food and making things from scratch. Not that I think those are the healthiest things, but that I just really enjoy it and I enjoy learning about it. I always have enjoyed like learning just about basic foods as much as I enjoy learning about the nutrition side of foods too. And to me, it's like all really intertwined anyway. Um, so with all that being said, where that brings me with my business, starting from when I started the Millennial Nutritionist, if you don't know, I started during COVID. That was really my COVID project, and everybody had like their own thing. And during COVID, I really leaned into posting on social media. That was something that I always enjoyed doing, but just never really had time to. And I dabbled into like starting posting more about food nutrition, created a different account, which is the Millennial Nutritionist account. I literally started from scratch. And I just loved posting on it. And people were asking me if I could help them with their nutrition, with being able to lose weight. At the time, that's not what I did. I worked in a hospital and was fine with it. But I was like, what happens? What would happen if I just did? What if I did just like change my career to this and potentially like continue to post on social media, which I love and kind of get paid for it. So I just kept following that until now, where I'm taking a step back, where I'm, having a baby. This is where this whole episode comes from. I didn't frame it as that, but I assume you know. And looking back on do I still enjoy it like I used to? Life is so busy now with life things. And I feel like it wasn't like that before. Like when all this started during COVID, isolation, lockdown, whatever, there was nothing else to do. And also just like the phase of life I was in at that point, like had way less money and lived in a very small apartment. And like there was nothing else that I really got a lot of joy from besides just like working, to be honest. And that was a lot of my life. Like I always just enjoyed doing things outside of my house. I enjoyed sports. I enjoyed schoolwork. In college, I was like barely ever in my dorm room because I had a job that I really liked at P.F. Chang's and went from job to job to job and like lived in areas that were really cheap but didn't matter because I just was always out of the house. And I feel like now it's the opposite, where I love where I live and I love the house that we live in now. And have to kind of like force myself to look at what like does the way that I've built my life serve that now. So, this month we're talking all about the health habits you should and shouldn't be adding to your spring health regimen. And adding more produce should for sure be a health habit that you add in. I know that one difficult part about adding in produce is constantly being busy. So, I have a solution for you. It is Bada Bean, Bada Boom, crunchy broad bean snacks. They are roasted broad beans and come in flavors including sweet onion and garlic, mesquite barbecue, and zesty ranch. These are for sure the Millennial Nutritionist approved because they're only 100 calories while containing 6 grams of protein and 4 grams of fiber because they're a bean. Plus, they're actual produce, not like a powder or some sort of manufactured fruit product. It's really just a bean that's been roasted, flavored, and put in a snack bag. My favorite thing about them is that they're a produce item that you don't have to keep cold, so they're really portable. You could put them in your car, you could put them in your pocketbook for those times when you either forget to have produce or you're out and about and you don't know where to get it. One real life example is my mom came to visit me recently and we did some sightseeing around the big city of Dallas. So I knew we would need some produce items throughout the day or it probably just wouldn't get eaten. So I packed some of these bean snacks. Both she and my mom thought that they were so good. David really liked the sriracha flavor the best, and my mom really liked the sea salt flavor, just to highlight how many really cool flavors they have. And my mom actually ordered them in that moment to be shipped to her house in North Carolina, just as a testament of how tasty they are. I actually found them, the Bada Bean, Bada Boom bean snacks on my own when I was at Aldi in that special section. So they aren't there anymore, but I bought them and was so surprised about how good the flavors were. My favorite flavor is the sweet onion and mustard. They remind me of those like honey mustard pretzels that you would get as a kid at like friends' parties and stuff, and then like just never have them regularly. I showed them on a grocery haul and Bada Bean, Bada Boom reached out to me to give y'all a discount code. So you can order them online now at www.badabeansnacks.com/the millennial nutritionist and make sure to use the code the millennial nutritionist and make sure to spell it right. We'll put it in the um, show notes. And put in the millennial nutritionist code at checkout to receive 15% off. Make sure you order them online because I really can't find them in any other stores now that they're gone off of Aldi. But order them and stop letting busyness be the excuse as to why you're not eating enough produce. Through my business though, like I am at this like standstill because I've been able to learn so much. And one time my therapist had me do this activity where I like try to figure out what my values were. And I came to the biggest value for me is health. Um, but then also my two like secondary values are knowledge or learning and connection. And so as long as I'm being served or finding ways to like celebrate those things in my life, I feel like I will be happy. So all that to say that I feel like through my business, I've been able to learn so much and connect, but mostly I feel like for me, I've learned. And the biggest thing is working one-on-one with people. I mean, like when I started out, I mean, I didn't really want to say this, but we don't learn how to help people lose weight in school. Like I'm sure it's like that for anybody with a career. Like you learn the basics. Like I know what protein is. I know how it breaks down in your body, but like I wasn't told tell people to eat this much when they're trying to lose weight and do this when somebody's not losing weight. Like I just had to learn while I did it. And the first clients I had, I am sorry. Because now I feel like I don't know if I've had a client recently that has not lost weight. Like in the beginning, it was very like, why are people not losing weight? Like this is crazy to me. But now I know exactly what to do. I feel like I do enjoy it so much more because I know how to find success with people. Where before I think in the beginning a lot of it was like me thinking it was like down to hormones or undiagnosed PCOS or hypothyroidism or stuff like that. And now I know exactly what to do to help people. And I have a very high success rate with it now because now it's been like what, 3-ish years that I've been doing this with clients, plus all the people that have worked under me and I've learned from their clients. So I feel just so much more confident in my ability to counsel people through weight loss and feel very confident in those skills. I've learned so much about media marketing as well, from working with different brands. It's never been like I quickly learned in the beginning that it's first of all not very rewarding work for me to do sponsorships. But it also is not as successful for me. I have like way more success like monetarily with the one-on-one client work. So I didn't do a lot, but and maybe too, it was because I like just didn't do every single thing. Like I wanted to do something that I know that I would actually recommend to somebody in a one-to-one session. I never wanted to get into a place where a client was like, oh, I saw you promote that. Do you like think I should take it? And I would be like, oh, actually, no, I just had to do it for the money. But anyway, I mean, I've learned a lot about it. I've learned, and I think it has helped me to learn about like why you hear about certain supplements over and over again, because I maybe was offered to do that job too and didn't take it, and just learn about how to get people to care about nutrition in a space that's so saturated, like all the spaces that I'm on TikTok, on YouTube, on podcasting and stuff like that, which is interesting. And it's hard because sometimes it's like the things that I feel like people need to hear aren't going to go well as far as like be popular, and then nobody's going to hear it. So it's like, how do you try to interweave these things into what people actually want to know about? So yeah, I've learned so much about marketing, which has been very rewarding because I didn't learn that in the hospital and I've always been interested in it. Um, I've learned a lot about managing a team. I don't know if you know, but I don't have a team anymore. It's just me, which has made it very easy, like one by one. Each coach kind of left for different reasons. And I just haven't replaced them. And I slowly realized that I don't know if I like it, but like I said, the season of life that I'm in, I enjoy working less, and managing people is hard work. I know the type of management that I enjoy, and I know now the type of people that I like to work with and type of people I like to hire. Um, and it's something, again, I don't think I would have been able to receive so early on in my career that I could always tap back into if needed. I really liked, I've learned so much about what happens when you have different price points, which I was always really afraid to charge more for what I had. I'm still kind of working through taking insurance. It is a big pain in the butt. Like it is awful. I think mostly because I like have clients come from all over, and I am like was onboarded in Texas and then moved to South Carolina. So like that's also confusing because like my agreement is for Texas, and it's like sometimes it's okay and sometimes it's not. But anyway, like I'm still learning about it, which is interesting. But the different price points is also interesting, and being more confident in charging more, or being okay with charging less if that's the route that I want to go. Because it doesn't, just because you see somebody charge more doesn't mean they're making more. It might just mean that they are shifting the work they want to do, which is what I might end up doing more after the baby comes. It might mean that I work with less clients, but I manage more, or I do more media work, or something like that. I've done different types of offers as far as like group program membership. I've tried to do, like the 1.5 hour sessions and stuff like that. And it's just so interesting that the thing that either like I'm most rewarded by or people like the most is the 3-month program, which I was always so surprised in the beginning that people would pay that much and be committed for that long. But if anything, I've learned it's really what people need. And I'm really worried to leave it behind, because I do feel like it's a hole in the market that people don't have. And that is originally why I want to start the Millennial Nutritionist. I've networked with a lot of really fun professionals. Having my podcast has really allowed me to have an outlet to bring people on for me to personally learn from them and connect the dots, hopefully for you too, around food and nutrition and agricultural and everything like that. But while that was all fun, some of it, or I don't know, I feel like a lot of it was out of fear. A lot of it was like, oh, I need to do this thing because that's what's going to bring my business to the next level. I need to do this thing because that is what people need, or that's what people are going to expect of me. That's what's going to help people be more successful. I was like afraid of not making enough money a lot, or like not looking consistent. If I didn't post all the time, like I thought that I needed to, and then people would think that I was like irresponsible. And like, this is where all that anxiety kind of comes in. So I've, like had a lot of different versions, I feel like, of my business over the last couple of years. But now I'm ready to kind of like take a step back and say, like, what do I actually find the most rewarding that is financially feasible as well? Where does the Millennial Nutritionist as a business, and I guess myself, go from here? I don't really know. People keep asking me, like, in my life, what's your plan with like working? And I had a therapy session recently where I'm like realized it's great to have complete control over my time and over where my business goes and over what I want to do, because there's like a million different versions of what I could do from here. But it's also hard because it's like there's no answer that is laid out for me. Sometimes it's easier, I feel like, when you like work for somebody else and they're like, this is the option that you have. It's either work for us or not. where I'm like, I could kind of work this way, or I could kind of work this way, or I could not work at all, or I could do everything and send my baby to daycare at like 3 months. Like there's so many things, but I'm really, again, I do feel like an overwhelming sense of peace to just like completely take a step back, evaluate at least for like 6 months and just be okay with it. Be okay with saying that right now, I feel like it's my heart to potentially take a very long break. Like I would love to at least be like with our daughter for the first year. And then when we were looking at daycares, I'm like, heck, why don't I just do 3 years? Because it seems like that's when it's best for her to go to daycare. And if that's what I want to do and we can do it, why don't, which is so weird for me to say because I never thought that I would want to do that. And then we want to have at least more than one kid. And so does that mean that like it will be longer than that? But also being okay with like having a baby and then being like, no, I like need the stimulation. I can't do this. But I think I figured out a solution maybe that will address that. But I'm just really, really excited and ready for this new phase of life. I don't think I've ever been so ready, but I think it's also like all the other phases just like bled into one another, where this is a very like forceful, like you have to stop. You're like literally ridding something of your body. Like you have to medically recover. So you've got to take a break and reevaluate things. And I've never actually like taken a break. I've never even called out of a client call. If I have a client schedule while I'm on vacation, I freaking still take the call. Like I have never taken a full break. So this will be like very interesting for me to do that. And I was reflecting on that recently. I haven't done it since like probably like high like summer of like middle school because I actually worked all the way through high school. So like I've never had this long of just a break. I live in this dream city of mine and it's packed with activities. I think unlike living in Raleigh and Texas, like nothing, no shade to either of those places, but they just weren't places that were filled of activities of things that I personally like to do. Like I love living here. I'm like such a beachy person and I have not been to the beach once, but I love like the beachy vibes. I always have a goal every weekend to just go to the beach and read. But I love like just going, I get so filled up by just like going to a restaurant that overlooks the water. We have like so many friends with boats here that we end up getting invited on. So I get filled up that way. And I just want to enjoy it. I don't want to just like work to not be able to enjoy those things. And I also really enjoy now like doing more like discounted free things. So I think that'll totally be like more of a content thing for me from here on out. I've enjoyed like going to the library and picking up things and leaning into cooking like almost every single meal and trying to make as many meals as I can from scratch. And I've even like this normally like if I run out of something, I'll just like go get it from the grocery store. But I've tried to force myself over the last couple weeks to practice like, hey, like I ran out of Raisin Bran this morning. I normally would be like, I need to go get more, but like I have oats in the fridge. Like I should just make some things now. I have the time with things that I already have. So I'm excited to like lean into that. And then if this at all, you need some sort of connection. Like when I'm more stressed, when I'm less stressed, I eat less. It's more easy for me to like maintain a healthy lifestyle because I'm such an emotional eater and I have more time to exercise. Like I right now am strength training 5 days a week, which is crazy to me, but like I have so much time and I love walking to the gym and I love going to my gym and it's so easy for me now to be like way more connected with my body because I'm not like constantly thinking about like, I don't have time to do this. Like I need to be doing something else. I need to do something else. And I don't know if that's like realistic for everybody, but like sometimes in the back of my head, I do think that some clients that I work with like also should maybe evaluate what's keeping them from being healthy if it's something that they really want to do. And that's what and it really just comes because that's what I feel like happened to me. And now it's been nice to like connect and it'll be really interesting to like see what weight loss is like when I'm not working. I mean, I will have a baby, so it's not like I'm not doing anything. And that I know that'll bring on a whole bunch of other stress, but like when I feel like I have more time. And so business, like what that looks like probably for you. And if you're wondering. So my priority right now and from here on out is to lean into rest. Well, for the first 3 months, like from now, lean into rest, which is very hard for me to do until the baby comes. So like really no new clients and like no consistency in work. Like every day I wake up and I'm like, if I need to like get stuff done for my life, like I've been like ongoing with this freaking DMV situation or like doctor's appointments and stuff like that. Like, and it ends up taking the whole day, then it takes the whole day and I'm not going to pull an all-nighter to get work done. So if podcasts don't get up, if you don't see me on Instagram for a day or two, That's what it is. Um, uh, except for the membership, I really want to try to hold on to that. It might come to a point one day where like I just like I can't, I guess, keep posting, but I really want to try because it's not that much work and I do find it like kind of rewarding. But like I said, I really just want to prioritize the things in my actual life and then work kind of come secondary for now. I don't think that I'll ever stop making content because it's something that I always started with. I've done it forever. I've done it like basically since before college. Like I tried to do YouTube like when I was in middle school. Um, and so the platforms that I think I'll be posting on more, I thought about this the other day, are YouTube, TikTok, and podcasts. Because when I evaluate, those are the platforms right now that are paying content creators like without sponsorships. If you're, wondering. So if you don't see me on TikTok, I mean, on Instagram at some point in time, you can always find me on those other platforms and see what is going on because those are the things that I want to try to prioritize. I enjoy Instagram and it's more of just like I feel like most of the time I'm just like talking to my friends on Instagram, but the other platforms I think are the most likely for me to get paid. And if there's a way I can still get paid just through content from here on out, it seems like low maintenance to me. And that's what I will be trying to do. The content will likely be more about me because I won't have any other content to pull from. So much right now, my content ideas come from conversations I have with clients. And so sometimes I pull from conversations that I have with normal people that like maybe ask me about or like people in my everyday life. But I just won't have as much of that. So it'll probably be about me and like what I'm eating and like I'll be going through a weight loss journey after I have this baby and like what I'm doing to feed my family. That's what I've been liking doing like more cooking videos on Instagram because it's like things I already do anyway. But the thing is like I won't always be trying to lose weight. So and who knows, maybe after I have this baby, I won't even want to lose the weight. I don't know what situation I'll be in, but I'll always want to be healthy. So I'll always just talk about like general health stuff for sure. So please like comment if you want to see anything because I do now look more at the comments to see what I should post about since that's all I'll really have to pull on besides like what I'm personally going through. I will have to focus more on views, which I don't normally do, because that's how these platforms pay their creators and how if I ever get any sponsorships, how they are going to pay based on like views and followers. So that means that sometimes like now I post things that I know might not do well, but would really resonate with somebody that they might want to work with me on. Where I can't really do that anymore. It's going to be more just like things that perform well. And it might mean that it's like the same stuff over and over again. What I'm noticing now, because I've been posting a little bit more recently on things, is that recipes, like I said, on like TikTok and Instagram seem to do well. Topic videos on YouTube seem to do well. Like if I do like an ultimate guide to this or something, like I did that spring weight loss podcast episode and it did really well on YouTube. Um, and podcasting, I don't know. It's like a mixed bag of what ends up doing well on just the audio podcasts on Spotify. I was thinking before that I could just make it like weekly lessons about weight loss, like thinking of it like you showing up for your college lecture and like let's just talk about like what is this 101 that you might be interested in, but also like sprinkle in guests that I'm interested in talking to. So like as I go into this new phase of life, like I've been really interested in learning about like weight gain in pregnancy because like nobody has good recommendations and I know people want to know about it and like some of my clients ask me what that could look like for them and I'm like I don't know because we're honestly not taught that either. So like stuff like that and stuff like how to raise a healthy kid without being too restrictive and stuff like that I think will be really interesting for me and that's just what I will have to pull from to talk about. Like I said, I do want to like my main like business thing will be focusing on Millennial Living, our membership. And I do want to like do more with it. There's so much more I could do that I just don't ever have time for. It's a really awesome platform, Circle. If you like you're ever on it, that's the website. I don't know if we can hear Bruno, but he's like having a good time back there. But I thought about even like potentially doing group calls on there. Um, I don't know. I feel like I played around with that and it's not very well received, but if it's the only thing I'm offering, I don't know if like maybe like a sort of like virtual Weight Watchers-esque like meeting. I could make it more organized. I've always had it on my to-do list to reorganize all the recipes and to like making them more topical so they're easily searched. Also just like make it look, I think I can brand it better to what I am, and even like make the app, rename it like Millennial Living app or something like that. And really just like get more people doing the challenges. That's really why I started it, just to think through how can previous clients be able to still keep up and be accountable to something at a lower price point and a lower effort from me. And like I'm on there almost every day and commenting on any post that somebody has. So if anybody feels like they need that from me, I'm on there too. And eventually I do want to come back to one-to-one coaching, because that's the thing is I feel like I was led in this direction for some reason. I feel like now I have a very special skill set of knowing the business stuff. Yeah, sure. But like more so, I'm really proud of like being able to counsel people and being able to help people lose weight, because I know it's something that is not really out there in a really good manner. Um, it's the most rewarding thing for me too. And it may be right away. It may come like right back. Like I said, I mean, the good thing is like if 2-3 months go by and I'm like, I think I can take on a client, just watch out, because I might advertise to take on a client. I don't know what the hours are going to look like now because I'll have a baby. But the good thing is David doesn't have to start his work until 11. So I do have the morning time. So that might be what ends up happening, or it might be in a couple years from now, and maybe now I just keep learning about things and learning about weight and learning about, like, I don't know, things that affect weight or things that affect nutrition, stuff like that. And then come back in a couple years and be like way more educated on things, or even like managing coaches that work for me. Cause that's a way that I can still, I feel like, be rewarded in that one-to-one coaching, give back on what I have learned, but not actually be the one stressed out about doing the work. Not that it stresses me out, but more so, it's just like the idea of managing a baby and also showing up for client calls is stressful seeming. So I don't know. I don't really know. And I'm just going to be open to like when I feel called to do a certain thing. And that's it. I feel like this was a really long episode. And it feels like a goodbye for me, but not for the podcasting world, because I want to still keep posting. I know there'll at some point be like a cutoff where I can't, but I still have a ton of ideas about podcast episodes I could post. And I do like to achieve things. So I'll still use it as like a way to achieve. And I do get paid a little bit from Spotify for posting. So that's a motivator. It's just like only basically enough to get like a latte once a month, but it is something. But it just feels weird to say that. I just keep saying I'm not going to work anymore. My therapist is like, but you are going to work. You're going to do your membership and you're going to post things. I'm like, yeah, but the one-to-one part is what actually feels like work to me. That's what I went to school for. And that's the part I'm not doing anymore. So that's what feels weird about it. But I guess this is my official goodbye to one-to-one coaching for I don't know how long. It's not a goodbye to you because I still want to keep posting, but this is my official, like, I don't know what's up. I might like only post every other week on podcasting. I might post 3 times a week. Who knows? But I'm giving myself permission now to like lean out of things and lean into my life a little bit more. So I hope that doesn't upset anybody, and I hope it encourages you to do the same. But take care. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Millennial Nutritionist podcast. For daily weight loss tips and nutrition information, you can find us on Instagram at the.millennial.nutritionist and on TikTok at millennial.nutritionist. If you find this information helpful, please subscribe to the podcast and share it with a friend who needs encouragement on their health journey. See you in the next episode.